There is just too much downward pressure in the crypto market right now. It is pulling down ICP, and it is mainly caused by the falling of Bitcoin, which at the time I am making this video sits below 40,000 for the first time since the 1st of December. And that downward pressure in Bitcoin is causing us to continue to find lower lows in ICP, and not just ICP. It's not just ICP, it's across crypto altogether. ADA, downtrend, lower lows. Ethereum, downtrend, lower lows. That's taking a big dive today. Doge, downtrend minus this push up, the temporary, they push up and then pull back down on the over optimism for Doge and X payments that we experienced over the weekend, back down into the downward channel. It's everywhere, guys. Everywhere we're seeing down trends in crypto, and it has finally picked on one of the stronger coins in this most recent run up, and that is ICP. Of course, right now you're still, to give some perspective, you're still 3 times plus 300% more than you were back in the lows of October. So that's good news for you. You're still in a fantastic project. And I will say this before I get too negative, Nelly, that I am pro ICP, I am pro crypto, pro Bitcoin. Long term, I think we're doing just fine in 2024. I do think we'll see highs comfortably above this last year's high or this year's high of 16. So I think only good things are ahead in crypto overall. But I can only talk reality, and this is our reality right now. And this is not a unicorn. I've already mentioned the other coins that just proves across crypto we've got some down pressure that we're having to deal with. Here's a high, a low, a lower high, and we're about to make a lower low, a couple moves in between. But either way, just this line right here tells the entire story. Bitcoin, I've talked about at nauseum, really. I'm going to have to take these channels off. They have been the channels that I've been watching since, I haven't been watching it since December. I've really been watching it since January, but they started forming in December. It took a few weeks for them actually to form to something that was very visible to the eye. We were gradually moving up. We bounced out post ETF approval up to 49,000. And ever since, we have been giving these gains back, which is to be expected. I've already shown you a longer term chart on ICP from back in October. Here's the Bitcoin chart from back in November of last year. Here, 16,000. We're at 40,000 now with a high of 49,000. You've got to expect some kind of pullback, correction, retracement, whatever you want to call it, from this fantastic run up in October, November, December. And that's just what we're experiencing now. We're experiencing that pullback, that correction, and it's not going to surprise me for Bitcoin over the next few weeks to end up into this 34,000 to 38,000 range. Will we get lower than 34,000? I don't think so. Not at least without the market giving us more clues. It wouldn't surprise me if we bounce around here for a while. I can't say what the market's going to do at this point. I don't think anyone can. Whether we range or run or go up and down the park, we could look like this for the next several months, and it wouldn't surprise me. Just because we're kind of all looking around after this post-run optimism, and we're looking at each other and saying, okay, what's next? Well, there's really nothing next until the halving of Bitcoin sometime in April. And often, so far, every time we've had a nice run up in Bitcoin after that. But Bitcoin is more mature than it was in those previous halvings. So we'll have to find out how that behaves. But nonetheless, I've been calling for 40,000 at least since back in the 13th and 14th of January. So for a week now, it just made it very clear to me we were going to be tagging 40,000 and perhaps slipping under. And at the time of this video, we have slipped under. That has pulled ICP down. You should expect, if you're a holder of ICP or a watcher of ICP, whether you're holding or not, us to enter this range right here between roughly 9 and 10. That's the next range. And with this continuous downward pressure, I think we're going to eventually enter that range. Of course, that still means you're still 300 times better or 300% better than you were back in October. So always have some perspective. If you're an ICP lover, you're doing very, very well. And you can tell there definitely be reason based on historical patterns for us to range and maybe rebase right there and give us a chance to break out of the top of this trend line, which is going to be the first step to this recovery. ICP, along with other coins, have been spending all this time creating, creating this downward structure. And the only way you can undo downward structure is to have healthy upward structure. And that's just going to take time. So if we fall down here and base, that will be just fine. It'll be 100% healthy constructive action. The first step to recovery, as I just said, is to break above this trend line. Until we break above that trend line and close outside of it, wherever that price is, even if we go down here somewhere, until we break out of that trend line and close outside of it, we've got no hope of rebasing. Okay. So right now, that's what we're watching for. And until we do break above this trend line, we're going to experience pressure. Does that mean we will fall? Not necessarily, but as a good possibility, that's what the pressure is. So don't fear in ICP. You're in some of the best hands, some of the best coin that there is out there. You're in a strong project. You're doing just fine. If you're looking to pick up some more, wait till we get down around about 9. Doesn't mean we won't fall further, but goodness, if you can get some at 9, that was better than when it was at 14. If it's going to go down, might as well pick up a little bit more. If you've got the funds that you can safely risk to do so, that would be a fantastic opportunity. So that's my outlook on ICP. Still downward pressure. Bitcoin still falling. Let's find out what Bitcoin's going to do. It's not going to surprise me if we do something like this and bounce out of this and so forth and so on and do some bouncing, but I just don't see us gasping for air and coming up here to 44, 45 anytime soon. Could, but the only way we make higher prices is to get above 45,000 in Bitcoin, and I think that's not coming anytime soon. All right, that is my outlook on ICP. Hope you enjoyed it. Please come back and I'll help you keep an eye on the crypto market together. Y'all take care.